Hello friends, welcome to one more video on Risk in Financial Services course conducted by Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. I have already created two videos on this particular module. Additionally, I have also created one video on operational risk, so you can go through those three videos. In this particular video, I will take you through some questions related to operational risk, and within operational risk, we will be discussing specific questions related to collection of internal loss data and external loss data. So you must be aware that data collection is very important in the process of operational risk management, and data comes from two sources, internal sources as well as external sources. So this is related to the chapter that covers internal loss data and external loss data. So let me take you through a set of questions here, which I'm sure will help you to prepare for exam in a better way. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and like this particular video and other videos also that I have created. So which is the first question that we have, quiz question. So which of the following is not a right risk category for operational risk? So operational risk has many categories which have been created as per the regulatory framework. Internal fraud is one of the category of operational risk. So is the external fraud. Even damage to physical assets is considered as part of the operational risk category. But change in market value of assets is something which is not considered. So we will not take that. So the answer was change in market value of assets. We move on to question number 2, which is kind of continuation of the same concept, which is misuse of confidential information should fall in which of the following operational risk category. So over there we saw internal fraud, external fraud, damage to physical assets, change in the market value. Here we are looking at four more categories: employment practices and workplace safety, business disruption and system failures, client products and business practices, and execution, delivery and process management. So out of the four, where should it fall? You'd be aware that banks and financial institutions collect various set of data from their customers, and this data should not be misused. Okay, so if it gets misused, it would fall under the category of client products and business practices. So the C would be the answer for this particular question. The question number 3 is that what should be the minimum loss value for data to be collected? Because you cannot collect data for every loss, a loss of 100 rupees, 10 rupees, 50 rupees, you cannot collect that. So as per operational risk guidelines, a minimum loss data of rupees 1 lakh is considered worthwhile to capture the loss data. So what should be the minimum value? 1 lakh rupees. The next question, operational risk losses related to which of the following needs to be included in operational. So sometimes what happens is that you may have an operational risk and a credit risk event happening together. So there is a credit risk event which has an operational risk component in it. Similarly, there is a market risk event and it has an operational risk component in it, right? So you have to capture the data of the other risk along with the operational risk. So operational risk losses related to market risk shall be included in the operational risk data. So basically you are covering the market risk data also as part of operational risk. Liquidity and business risks are definitely not covered because they are not part of regulatory capital requirement, right? Uh, for liquidity, we maintain the ratio, which is liquidity coverage ratio, and what is called as the long 1 year ratio, which is net stable funding ratio, right? But we don't maintain capital here. The question number 5 is which of the below mentioned dates need not be part of operational risk event data capture, which means when you capture the operational risk event, you have to capture various details in terms of the dates, when did they happen and all that. So date of occurrence is captured, date of discovery is captured, date of accounting is also captured, but date of recovery is something which is not captured. So the option becomes here as the option D. So option D is the right answer. This takes us to quiz number 6. Which of the following is not true about gross loss? So when operational risk events happen, we have them categorized as gross loss and net loss. So what should get covered under gross loss? And this particular question is basically asking you that what is not true. So whatever is covered under operational under gross loss has to be understood, and whatever is not covered will not be true. So gross loss is a loss without recoveries of any type, which is absolutely correct, which means option A is right. Banks shall identify the gross loss, non-insurance recoveries, and insurance recoveries for all operational loss events, which is absolutely correct again. Cost of general maintenance contracts on property, plant and equipment shall be included in gross loss computation. No, this is not included. So the option becomes C. C is something which is not part of gross loss. Question number 7 dash 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 is a structured investigation that aims to identify true cause of a problem and the actions necessary to eliminate it. So whenever there is an event happening, or a incident happening, you will have to do a detailed analysis to find out what is the true cause and what are the actions necessary to eliminate it. We call such process as root cause analysis. So root cause analysis is something which is part of this. Scenario analysis, fraud and data analysis will not be the right options. So let us quickly move to question number 8. Which of the following corporate entity has developed 5 whys analysis? Now, such kind of analysis mostly have developed in the industrialized Japan, where Japanese companies have taken initiative, okay, to come out with various risk management models. Okay, so we have two Japanese company here, Toyota and Suzuki, but in this particular case the answer is Toyota, not Suzuki. So our answer becomes B. We move on to question number 9. Which of the following is not included in the gross loss data? So when you capture the gross loss data, what do you don't capture? So direct charges you capture, provisions and reserves you capture, insurance premium you capture, but negative economic events are not captured. So the answer would be D here. Till now we have covered 9 questions. We have a couple of more coming up for your benefit. Which of the following is an example of an external fraud? So fraud can be internal, fraud can be an external. External frauds are mostly done by third parties, right? So we can see that first option very clearly says that theft, robbery by a third party. So that's an external fraud. Hacking, damage by an external party. That's very clearly an external fraud. Theft of information by a third party is also an external fraud. But aggressive sales typically will be done by the employees. So the answer here would be D, which was very easy in fact. Okay, 11th question. Near miss events provide a clue on attempted frauds or mishaps that could be averted, whether it is true or false. Needless to say, this is true. So we go with the option true, which is A. This takes us to question number 12, which is question 12. Which of the following criteria has the premise that 80% of problems are produced by few critical issues, which is or causes, which is 20%? And all of you would know that this is often referred to as Pareto analysis. 80-20 relationship is core of Pareto analysis. And now we move on to the last question. What is it? Operational risk loss data is put under how many categories? So it's put under 7 categories. Okay, and these 7 categories are internal fraud, external fraud, and like that, we have various categories that we have already seen, right? So this is your 7 category under which it is put, right? Now we have completed 13 questions. 13 is often supposed to be unlucky, but I'm sure it's something which will be lucky for you if you go through this entire video. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope this video has added some value for you. Do like the video and subscribe to my channel.